A lot of people talk about, and they've talked about this for decades, you can't eat the horns. So what I want to talk about today is all about venison. I want to talk about how you can create a doe vacuum on your land, and you can fill your property with does, and for that then you get to eat as much venison, you get to put as much venison in the freezer, and you really don't have to worry about a lot either when this takes place, and I'll tell you why. A doe vacuum is great because you're putting a huge percentage of does on your land that you can hunt, shoot venison on, practice shooting. You can have all your fun because does take a lot of hunting pressure. A lot of does on your land. You can move about your land freely. You don't have to worry about your scent as much. You don't have to worry about your access. And you can still have a lot of does and maybe even some young bucks on your land. So a lot of deer, great for visibility. Now, in order to create a doe vacuum, you need to have summer food. You need to have a high concentration of summer fawning grounds, lots of grasses, and you need to have a lot of hardwood regeneration back in your hunting locations. That doe vacuum can be the perfect location to make sure that you have lots of deer on your land and you don't have to worry about those mature bucks. And what's a great thing about that is that you don't have to worry about, again, how your scent, where you blow your scent, how you access your land. And most of all, with that doe vacuum, it can be a lot of fun and you have a lot of deer on your land. When you look at the features of a doe vacuum, you want to have great habitat. It doesn't need to be placed in any order either. You could have a habitat put anywhere. You can have switchgrass field over here because it's a great open location. You could have a food plot over here because it's your best soil. You can put your stands anywhere you want, your favorite trees on the land. You can create water holes anywhere you want on your land. And if you're looking at venison and you're looking at just does, all you have to do is create a lot of attraction. You don't have to worry about how you hunt that land as much. And you can put those attractions anywhere on your property. In fact, it doesn't matter. The does can take a lot of hunting pressure, and if you have the best habitat and food in the area, will attract does. Now, some could say I'm saying all this sarcastically, and maybe I am. But the point is that there's a difference between a mature buck parcel, one that you're building to attract mature bucks, and you're building that complexity of attracting a mature buck, compared to an all doe parcel. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that have all doe parcels. There's some that have mature buck parcels, but those all doe parcels, is that the level that you want to bring your property to? Extremely easy to do. Again, you don't have to worry about your hunt. You can put box slides right out in your food plots. You can just plant whatever habitat feature looks the best, place it in that. That's even the old scientific way, where, schooled way, where you're taking this approach to this timber stand, you're improving it this way for boards per foot. You're building a pond over here because there's a riparian waterway, and you're looking at putting that water in that location because of its proximity to water or a wetland or a lowland area, natural runoff. You really don't need to worry about where you put those habitat improvements. For that, you spook deer often, but again, it goes back to those does and fawns can take a lot of pressure, and then they're always there to actually hunt and harvest when you want to. And taking kids out, getting shots on does. I see two different parcels here. I see one that you're putting a lot of work into. You create a nocturnal buck herd. I see another where you're putting a lot of work to, but it's work in the right direction so that you can actually hold, attract, and potentially protect and hunt a quality herd with bucks on it. And this one over here, you have a whole lot of does, and everyone can look at this parcel right here. Everyone knows this parcel where they drive by in October, November, and there's 30 does out in the field that you can see from the road, 30 does and fawns. They're just everywhere. That parcel is very easy to create. And if it's all about venison, you can't eat the horns, then this property might be the one for you. If you want a quality herd right here, and you want that quality herd to include mature bucks, an adequate buck age structure, improved sex ratios, then that property is completely different from this property. These are not one and the same, folks. You have a lot of does, you have a lot of fawns, you'll have those bucks that come through. This property right here where you have mature bucks, then you should be able to hunt mature bucks for the majority of the season. Let's say 2.5 out of 3 months, there should be mature bucks going around, if not 3.5 out of 3.5 months. On this property, this is a primary rut hunting property. Lots of does. Bucks are there half the time here and there during the primary rut, but by and large for the rest of the season they're not there, except for with the exception sometimes of late season food sources. Try to look at these properties. You can create a doe vacuum on your land extremely easy. Very easy to do. Again, great habitat, don't worry about anything else. Taking it to the next level, you have to worry about access. You have to worry about if there's enough depth of cover for bucks on your land so that you have food, does, and actual buck bedding or buck bedding area or buck staging area where you can actually focus the attention during the daylight of mature bucks on your land throughout the season. You have to worry about access. You have to worry about definition of movement. If you have food plots you have to worry about, and you should on private land, then you have to worry about, do those food plots actually work for you for the entire season? Because if you're just setting them up for December, then half the herd you're missing, because you're expecting all those deer to come on your property during December, maybe over a late season bean source, but you're missing September, October, November hunting opportunities, not to mention herd building opportunities. In fact, I would say that September, October, November is 80% of your herd building. So if you only have beans in December, you're missing the whole equation. And again, access, depth of cover, paralleling habitat features to your property borders. Those are all concepts that are key on any mature buck parcel. I cover them in my first book, Whitetail Success by Design. It's the red book is what we call it. A lot of reviews on Amazon if you want to check it out, and we've sold thousands of them. They've helped a lot of landowners. I talk about all these concepts. Again, if you want to shoot does, if you want a lot of venison, again, you can't eat the antlers, then focus on this type of property over here that's full of does. If you want mature bucks, if you want a QDM herd, if you want a herd that's in balance with the habitat, closer to balanced sex ratios or appropriate sex ratios, and appropriate buck age structure, then focus on this parcel over here, which is what this channel is all about, because it's complex, it's hard, this is easy. I hope you're focusing on that balanced herd this year. That's what all the strategy is about. It's fun to me. It's a lot of strategy. And you know, let's face it, this one's a lot less stress. You just go out and hunt, do whatever you want, see a lot of deer. But this is that balanced herd that I hope you all get to experience. I have a video out soon that's called the 5% parcel, or it has to do with those small parcels in the neighborhood that actually attract. There's less than 5% of all whitetail parcels hold mature bucks or attract the attention, daylight attention of mature bucks for the majority of the season. I want you to be that 5% parcel. Maybe you want to be this parcel. That might be another, there might be a channel, another channel for that. This channel's for this mature buck, for those 5%ers out there. And hey, in the end, lots of venison, either side of the fence you go to. Just depends on what you want in your herd goals, your hunting goals, and what you actually want to see when you're out in the woods, and how hard you want to work on a right direction, a correct direction, to get this parcel over here to happen as a 5% mature buck parcel this season when you're out there in the woods chasing whitetails, which we all love to do.